My 47 male wife, 45 female, demanded we have an open relationship and now isn't happy I'm sleeping with our daughter's friend, 21 female. Sometime last year, my wife approached me about opening our relationship. Our sex life had deteriorated a lot over the years, and in the end, I just stopped pursuing it completely. If I was lucky, I'd get sex maybe once a month or so, and even then it came with a number of caveats to the point that it felt like a transaction. After months of, "I'm too tired," or "not now, I'm not in the mood," I just stopped asking, and we went about 8 months without any form of intimacy at all. A kiss on the cheek would be the absolute limit. My wife worries about her age and the toll 3 kids have taken on her body, but I still find her as beautiful as the day I married it, and her body is more than enough to keep me going. Not being able to show her beautiful I find her, as words haven't been enough, has been difficult. Before the mess of last year started, she broached the subject of seeing other people. It wasn't something I wanted to do and I was against it, but she explained that in order to get her confidence back, she wanted to be desired by other people. I believe this was prompted by our eldest, and she's very much into this new age stuff. As I said, I wasn't happy, but I can see when there's no point in arguing, and it would be simpler for me to agree. We didn't really set any ground rules. My wife just took my acceptance at face value and carried on. I don't know whether she's acted on it, as I have been rather busy with work in the last year, but I do know that she did spend 2 nights away from the house. As I wasn't really interested in this in the first place, I didn't pursue anyone. In my eyes, I just wanted to wife to realize how beautiful she was so that our sex life would return. My daughter has a close friend who is frequently coming round, and they've been close friends for quite a few years, so much so that we occasionally chat when she's around the house. And it's not that much of a surprise if she's round the house. We've become closer over the past year as she's been spending more time round our house, and it is through her that I learned the open relationship was my daughter's idea. To stop rambling ahead, one thing lead to another, and I have been sleeping with her quite regularly. At first, we were just using hotels to keep it out of the house, but the whole 2020 issue has made us use the house, and my daughter has caught us on a few times. She made it clear that she saw no issue with it, and whilst my wife has never seen us together, she is aware. She's been quite upset about it and said she wants me to stop. She doesn't want to end our open relationship deal, but she doesn't want me to be sleeping with people we know. I'm at a crossroads here. I am quite enjoy this purely physical relationship, and I don't want to go back to merely looking forward to a kiss that isn't on my cheek, but at the same point, I don't want to cause my wife any grief. Second story. My girlfriend insisted on an open relationship and now wants to close it, but I am having the time of my life. How do I proceed? So me and my girlfriend are both 23 and have been dating for 4 years now. She had an ex before me, but is my first in everything. Well, 6 months ago, she said she was looking into having an open relationship, and it would be good for the 2 of us to get some experience that way so we wouldn't get bored of each other. I was very against the idea, but she said there was no other option for her and I didn't want to lose her. So I agreed. We made the rule that we'd tell each other who and when we were hooking up with others, and after 2 days of this starting, she went and slept with her ex. I was kinda sad, and to lift my spirits, my friends took me to a club. We danced and enjoyed there, and joined a girl group. One of them started grinding on me and I took her number. We met up later at my place and had sex, and it was so much better. My girlfriend was what one would call a pillow princess. She'd close her eyes and do her best not to moan, just kinda lay there and took it, and it made me uncomfortable, so our sex life dropped. But this girl was wild. She moaned like crazy and really made me feel like she enjoyed me. I had told my girlfriend about her, and she just sent a thumbs up emoji and a text that she'd be hooking up with her ex again. It was weird, and it did click to me that she just wanted to mess around with her ex, but I was also having fun and didn't want to close up again. I was feeling confident, and so may and attractive for the first time in a while, and I realized that she never actually made me feel that way. We started seeing each other less and less. We went from hanging out daily for the first 2 years to 3 or 4 times a week to once a week. One day we were out at the mall together and she stopped at a store to try out some clothes. I ran into a friend of mine in the store, and we started chatting and openly flirting. And it ended with her telling me that she hoped we could meet again soon in front of my girlfriend. I think on that day she changed a bit. She stopped sending me a text telling me who she was hooking up with, and she said it was because she wasn't hooking up with anyone anymore. We started spending more time together because she wanted to. She started initiating more and started trying out new stuff and generally being more affectionate. I knew this was love bombing, but I enjoyed it, so I didn't really do much. I still took advantage of the open relationship though, and would still go out to have fun, and this started irking her. She asked me why I was still with others now that she was giving me all the attention I wanted, and she insinuated that I wanted to cheat on her, which is why I agreed, to which I said I was the reluctant one, and she brought it up. She said she regretted it, and she only had one partner and realized he wasn't as good as I was, so she ditched him, and now she wants to close the relationship again. I told her what she was like in bed and how I felt terrible around her before, and opening up our relationship brought back my confidence. She started crying and hugged me and said she didn't know that and she'd make up for it with me, and asked me if I was going to leave her. I said it had crossed my mind, but I thought not to. She cried harder, then fell asleep, and I realized that I really don't want to close this relationship. I've been feeling attractive and desired for a while now, and I really enjoy it. She has said she'll do her best to make me feel like that, and said that she loves me and doesn't want me to leave her. And she's also changed a bit, complimenting me and stuff, which makes me feel a bit better. I am actually willing to close the relationship, but I would need a guarantee that she won't go back to being what she was, which I don't really have. So, here I am. Do you guys think it's best to close the relationship? Should I even stay in this relationship? Will she go back to being what she was? Update. So after making my post, I saw that breaking up was my best option. Not just because I didn't want to close the relationship, but also because she had lied and manipulated me and was very likely doing it again in the form of love bombing. I didn't want to be the shitty guy who breaks up over text. I also didn't want to risk her changing the narrative to paint me in a bad light. So I decided to meet her in a public restaurant with a friend of hers as a reliable witness so she wouldn't be able to slander me later. We were supposed to meet day before yesterday, but something came up and me and her friend forgot about the date. I arranged for a makeup meeting yesterday, keeping everything the same. Well, yesterday, I arrived at the restaurant and she was already sitting there. She cheerfully waved at me, but her face went from confusion to shock to sadness when she saw I had brought her friend with me. She asked me what the friend was doing there. I said she was just here to verify what happens here at a later date if necessary. She just tilted her head a bit. Well, I told her I was done with her, and not in a good way. I told her off for the manipulation, the clear desire to cheat without having a guilty conscience, and the fact that she thought I wouldn't be able to get anyone. She got defensive and started crying, and said it wasn't like that, but I interrupted her and said that that was exactly what it was like, and I knew that she had been fooling around with her ex before we opened the relationship. I didn't, and it was a shot in the dark, but it hit its mark. She completely broke down sobbing and said she was sorry and was confused at the time. She said she didn't want to lose me and tried to get me to remember the good times we had. All that did for me was show me how long back our relationship had actually died, and I just said that to her. There was more crying. She said she'd change. I said I hoped she did for the next guy she would be with, but it wouldn't be with me. She said to me that she would keep the relationship open and wouldn't be with anyone if that was the problem. I said that our relationship ended as soon as she asked to open it. I just didn't know it at the time. She was bawling, and people's eyes started running over to our table. I just said that I'd return her stuff within a few days and left while she was face down on the table, her friend consoling her. So yeah, I'm done. For the first time in 4 years, I'm single, and for the first time in a year or so, I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells. I'm gonna follow the majority of the advice given to me and enjoy my youth. I won't be actively hunting for a relationship for a while, but if the right one comes along, then lucky me. Thanks everyone who took time to write comments. Thanks to the people that DM'd me, except that one cunt, you know who you are, and provided valuable advice. I did get a blast of messages and calls from my ex, begging for another chance. I thought it'd be satisfying to see it, but honestly, it was just sad. I ignored the messages, left my phone at he, and went to a friend's place to hang out without having to ask her if she's cool with it. I'm really gonna enjoy being single. Third story. I, 30 male, just discovered my wife, 32 female, cheated on me and she is asking for an open marriage. 2 weeks ago, my best friend Emmanuel told me he thought he saw my wife with another man while out of town. I was confused, since such suspicions never arose between us. The timeline of events also checked out. He saw her at the market on Friday night. They were holding hands and openly flirting. It was about the time when my wife left to go to her parents for the entire weekend. She reasoned she had not seen her sister in a while. Her sister lives in another country. I would never take my best friend for a lie. He was always like a brother to me. I thanked him for his warning. I returned home late on Wednesday night after work. Couldn't find her anywhere. I called her, but her phone was off. I sat out and waited for her. Once again, something came up last Saturday and she told me she wanted to send her sister off with a sweet girls' night out. I asked if I can go and she told me no. According to my wife, her sister Jules was leaving this week. I decided to ring Jules on Messenger. She only began laughing. She is not back in town and not sure where I got it from. This is when I realized my wife was full of bullshit, and I confronted her about this. She started crying, and after an hour, she told me everything. She has been seeing another man for 3 years. We got married only 2 years ago. Do the math. Her affair has been going on throughout our whole marriage. Her affair partner is her divorced colleague from work. He has multiple children from a former marriage. She was adamant about us never having children together. She demanded I get a vasectomy. I wanted to have children. I come from a large family myself, and I can't imagine home life without them. I gave her an opportunity to break it off with him and for us to get relationship counseling. She has said she is open for an open marriage to salvage everything and that I can have other women on side. Bollocks. I am not angry at her for betraying me the way she did. I am only crushed. Before my friend mentioned something, I never noticed a red flag. I know a divorce is 100% happening. It hurts so badly I can't think straight. I don't know what to do. I gave up everything to be with her. I relocated to her. I found a new job to make the move easier. I don't want to stay here a minute longer. The only advice I am seeking is, what do you think I should do next? Should I move back home to be with my family? How do I ever trust someone ever again? Thank you for listening. If you like this video, please give it a like and write your opinion in the comments. See you soon.